Thought we'd have a little fun and go on an adventure for 5 minutes. The topic this week is you can't bear false witness, and it's our bound in spiritual duty, so to speak, to bear the true witness to our true nature, and that we actually, at the deeper level, the deeper meaning of that, it just means we can't we can't lie. The superficial meaning, of course, is we shouldn't lie about our neighbor about we stole their oxen and we really didn't. The deeper meaning is we can't really lie. Whatever our state of consciousness is will express and demonstrate out in the world. So here's this little hypothetical. This is presented solely for imaginary uplifting purposes. Disclaimer issued. So it's pretty much the end of your life and poof, you croak. Okay, so this is like one of these flowchart diagrams. So you die and then it forks into two different possibilities. One is that's it, you're gone. That was it. Atheists and materialists are right. Consciousness is produced by the brain. The brain croaks, no more consciousness. All right, there's that. Then there's this curious fork where it's not the end. Now, that presents an interesting possibility, doesn't it? In fact, perhaps the most interesting of all models of who we really are, the ongoingness of consciousness. So in this fork, in this diagram, where consciousness continues, almost every system of religion and spirituality seems to point to a life review. In one scripture, it's called Judgment Day. In the Tibetan Book of the Dead, Tibetan, however you pronounce it, whatever, it's the review is something else. But if you've read as much near-death experience literature as I have, there's an incredible commonality to the experience that A, consciousness continues, and then B, there's a review of how we done when we were on Earth. And it's a daunting prospect that in the flash of an eye, exactly every single moment of how we lived, because suddenly the constraint of time is removed, but we get an experience, we get an understanding of how we lived on Earth and how we did in relation to what our meaning and purpose and mission was in this particular lifetime. So some of these near-death experience people, as they have that experience, they're quite stunned by it, and they realize how they bore the false witness during their life. They really didn't come anywhere near or close to living in a way that was in accord or in alignment with the true purpose of living. There was perhaps superficiality or artificiality, or there was attention paid to things that don't really matter. And it's obvious to us all the things that are most important: love, family, relationship, truth, beauty, compassion, upgrading, wisdom, that sort of thing. And if we don't live that life, Judgment Day is a nasty thing. It stings. We feel all the hurt that we brought to other people. Of course, we were hurt as well, and so we're like little kids in a rock throwing fight. But we see where we missed opportunities. We were at junctures or forks in the road where we wandered off into what didn't matter, and we learned from it. And there's no condemnation or criticism. Imagine in this life review, you're surrounded by your highest mentors and teachers, and we see how we did, and there's some laughing and giggling, and we don't like that so much, but there's like oh man, and life is seen in proper context. It's one page in a book that's so large that it can never be finished. We're never done. We're always ongoing. Now, rather than waiting till we croak to have this sort of review of our life, by operating from this model, we can ask ourselves, am I bearing the true witness? And of course, all of us have been at particular forks in the road where we chose the lower rather than the higher. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean we ripped off 7-Elevens or we became hopeless alcoholics. Whoops. But it might mean that we chose depression over optimism, or agitation over calm, or we chose pettiness over over magnanimity. And these are all choices. These are forks in the road that we meet every single day. So rather than wait till later when we die, that's the huge fork in the road, is it not? But every day we have forks in the road where we can say, am I bearing the true witness? Am I really demonstrating the infinite, pristine, whole, perfect nature of my absolute being, or something less than that? So I hope you enjoyed the model. Now, of course, if I'm wrong, and in this diagram, it's end, game over, well, I don't know. I can only be nihilistic about that and say none of it really mattered anyway. So what I'd recommend in that case is pure unadulterated hedonism, and use your body as an amusement park ride as stridently as you can. But I think most of us lean into the side of the ongoingness of consciousness, because that's what it means to be spiritual. See you tomorrow.